My life was in the ruins. My wife left me. My children were cheating on me with other parents. My dog slept with my cat. And everything happened because of one movie trilogy, the horror Humpty Dumpty trilogy. Hello everyone, my name is Mentor92 and in this video I'm going to be ranking and technically reviewing the horror of Humpty Dumpty trilogy or the curse of Humpty Dumpty 1, 2 and 3 even though they have other titles and I'm really infuriated that at the ending of those movies they say the curse of Humpty Dumpty 1, 2 and 3 even though they have different titles. This is one of the worst trilogies I have ever seen. It's a parody and it doesn't even include a scene of Humpty Dumpty falling over the wall. And I'm really, really scared because of that. And I'm really, really pissed off because of that. Starting with the first movie, The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, I'll give it like a 2 out of 5, a 4 out of 10. It's a solid movie and I have kind of vibe to it. That's why I put the Kirby with the headphones. It's a solid, nice movie. If you have friends coming over, put this on and you will probably have a nice time watching it. Other than that, some nice acting, but poor everything else. The doll really looks bad in every movie, so that's nothing special. Also, you can watch this full movie on YouTube, so that's a upside. And if you have time, go and watch it. It's a nice, dumb horror movie. It's nothing special, as I said. It has some really bad kills and nothing interesting about horror aspect. Doesn't even have a horror aspect. It's basically just nothing for an hour and 30 minutes. And it doesn't include the scene of Humpty Dumpty falling. I already said it. I'm really pissed off about that. These movies need to include that. It's the first of the trilogy, and I have to give it some slack, of course, because of it. But it's the precursor to one of the worst movies I ever saw. Yeah, The Cult of Humpty Dumpty. It's way more funny than the first movie and has way more character than the first movie. And the doll weighs so shittily and shittily. I made a word for this movie. It's really worse than the first movie. Even though I give it just a half rating lower, you can't understand how this movie is shit if you don't watch it. It's really bad, but it's funnily bad, and I know how that sounds. People said that to me, and I was like, oh yeah, go watch it, and it's always shit. This movie is actually some fun shit to watch. Nothing interesting happens in this movie. If you are like having friends over, basically out these three movies, you don't have to watch when you're alone, and you certainly don't do that because I did, and I had a horrendous time. I binged all of these three movies in basically one sitting, and I hate myself for it. But coming up, it's The Madness of Humpty Dumpty, an actually solid horror film which has some like actually solid acting, a weird ending, but I give it kudos for that. It's a nice movie to just throw out. You don't need to watch the first and second one. If you want to watch something after watching this video, go and watch The Madness of Humpty Dumpty because it's a fun horror movie that I do enjoy and I'm going to talk about probably when I recommend some fun, dumb horror movies in the future. I believe it's a really nicely done, really nicely acted, has some fun scenes. Of course, the doll is not that great. Still, it doesn't include a scene of Humpty Dumpty falling over the wall, and I hate it for that. Of course, it would be a 5 star if it had that scene, but it doesn't. Actually, these characters are really nicely done, and I really do enjoy them. This movie actually isn't bad. It's actually a nice and a good movie, I would even say. It's not a fun bad movie. You actually could throw this on and watch it, and I did, and I really had a great time. I believe this movie is better than some other movies, and I believe that some other movies are way more popular. Movies like Schindler's List, The Godfather, Shawshank Redemption. I believe this movie has way of a better plot, better characters, better cinematography, better script, better acting, and everything around it is just better than some mediocre stuff. Like, I don't know, Parasite, please. The Madness of Humpty Dumpty is a classic. It came out last year, and I'm hoping this isn't the last movie. I'm hoping for a quadrilogy, and I will be the happiest man alive to go and watch that movie. Well, actually, not to go because none of these movies were ever released in theater, and that's a crime. Especially the third one. The third one is actually an amazing movie, and I keep saying it for like the fifth time. So yeah, that's basically it. If you have the time, it's this movie is under 80 minutes long, so if you have the time, go out and watch The Madness of Humpty Dumpty because it's an actually a fun movie, and you will probably have such an amazing time watching it as I did. I'm actually planning to marry this movie because I love it that much, and every single person that watches this video is invited. Of course, how can I not invite you guys? And basically, that's it for this video. If you enjoy it, consider liking, subscribing, and all that stuff. And until the next video, you have a great time. Bye bye.